Charlie, you saw the Bagman.
Scatman.
I got the wrong man. And then I also drove around the park while erect. I don't understand what movie I was supposed to watch, but
I feel you did the necessary items.
I drove hard. That's what I felt
Oh,
like
is that where that was going?
I was told to drive hard.
And it sounds like
That's in the
you
new
fully committed.
Ernest gives Roadhead.
Let's see who wins on the other side.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janik. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. My name is Tyler Lamb, and I'm here with someone who will tell you what this podcast is about, Steve Janik.
Oh, so you're so it's my job now? Suddenly I did it once and now it's my job.
You took over.
Damn it. So in this podcast, two of the three of us.
Oh wait, there's three of us?
Yeah.
Oh,
just the three of us.
I hear a chair
we
moving.
can make it if we try.
Who is this?
Just the three of us.
So who is this guy?
You and I.
Who is this guy in between us right here?
It takes three to make the
world
podcast go right. Sure. Boo.
Who was that with that terrible joke? And
that is
Steve.
Yes. So Steve, why don't you tell us how the podcast goes?
Hey, so two people watch two shit movies and they try and make one of them sound better and have their movie be picked as a movie that the third person would rather watch.
Steve, take that Charlie voice modulator off of your neck and talk.
Damn, that was such a good joke. For those of you listening and didn't see it, he also fake pushed his glasses up.
I forgot that you actually wear glasses when I did it, though.
It's natural to do that motion when you do that
when
joking
that
noise. Ew. Like the old Conan O'Brien / Jon Stewart joke.
Or like if you did the actually, you can't not pull it.
Well, because when you say the word actually, you stretch your face out and your glasses fall down. You gotta leave them up there.
And so we got Charlie Pixley here.
Man, these
well.
movies are crazy.
So Steve, continue. What do we do on this podcast?
Yeah. So the two members next to me have seen a movie. Mm-hmm. They've each seen a movie that is bad. These movies,
great.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have not seen either of these movies yet. They're going to tell me what their movie was about, and they're going to do it in a way, probably going to lie a little bit, at least a little bit, about what happened in these movies or how good they thought these movies were. And at the end, I will decide which one I think sounds better or which one I would be willing to see after, based on these reviews alone. And that's the basis.
What movies?
Sounds dumb.
What movies did we see, Steve?
So Tyler, you alluded to your erection, which means you saw Drive Hard. And
I mean, that's all. That's not a big clue. I always allude to my erection. If you go back to all past episodes, I've been slowly leading.
Yeah, download all of them again
and re-listen to every first letter of my first words leads to I have an erection.
To be fair, it did need its own mobile platform. And then Charlie saw The Bagman, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think the trailer looked better than the title. At the very least.
It's a shitty title.
Every time I hear The Bagman, I just think I feel like Crazy Frog should be up on that mic. Ding, 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 ding.
Dude, now I'm gonna have to watch that old video of those two kids.
You don't have to
doing
do anything.
You don't know my life.
The kids doing the crazy frog.
Yeah. The old classic.
Hey, whatever gets your jollies off. So Steve, you are the you're asking the questions.
No, I'm doing both. You guys can leave.
Sweet. All right. Well, if you don't mind, just going all in right now. You take it away.
So because he's got the worst titled movie, Charlie, why don't you hit me with the basic rundown first?
All right, John Cusack gets a mission from, I was about to say Mel
God?
Gibson.
Oh.
Yeah, same thing. From, what's his name?
Robert De Niro.
Bobby De Niro.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Really stretching his chops as a gangster.
So he's like, hey, take this bag and bring it to me. Just do it. And Cusack is like, well, what's in it? You know, is there anything special? He's like, nope, just give me this bag and bring it to me. He says, why don't you just use, FedEx or whoever? And he's essentially just saying, shut the fuck up. Don't worry about it. I like you because, you're my man. You're like my go-to guy for anything like this, any possible dirty work or anything like that. But he doesn't even know if any of that's going to happen. Just bring me this bag. So John Cusack goes down to Deep South. I think they're in Louisiana, to this motel to try and pick up this bag. And then he gets into all sorts of hijinks along the way.
How deep south do you think they are?
Real deep.
Oh, so deep enough that you think that blowjobs are being given in Resident Evil screenings?
Probably about 45 minutes south of that.
Okay.
So what's happening in those theaters during screenings of Resident Evil?
I don't know. Maybe they're cosplaying while they're doing it.
For those curious, just go back to our Resident Evil, the final chapter. Is that what it was called? Versus whatever movie I saw. I think I don't know.
You saw an Underworld.
I did. And go back to that, and you'll understand what I was referencing.
They're gonna get to that point. They're gonna be like, "That was it."
So John Cusack then
he said all of the reference in his joke.
Okay.
Yes, confirmed. John Cusack then finds a hooker with a heart of gold, and
he cuts it out of her to pay off
Yeah.
his debts.
yeah. So then these people start finding him. He realized that there were he goes to this shitty motel. He realizes there are FBI agents in the room next to him, and they knock on his door, and they're pretending not to be, but they're movie FBI agents. So clearly they are.
so they're like, "Hey, I'm Bill Stone." Vacuum salesman flashes FBI badge, puts it down.
Ignore this curly cue coming out of my ear. So he goes and kills them. But he breaks into their room and kills the 3 FBI agents just out of nowhere. And then just shit starts hitting the fan. The police start coming by. There's a little person in the room next to him that wants to kill him.
Wait. So is the little person an assassin as well?
Is he one of the FBI agents?
No. He's the pimp's assistant. The pimp looks like Nick Fury. He's a black bald dude with an eye patch and a black leather coat.
That sounds like exactly Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And he's also asking people if they want to be an Avenger.
And Samuel L. Jackson.
He's more or less just telling her to go fuck people for money. So close. And then and they saw him talking to the hooker, and then they start thinking oh, are you trying to get with her? Blah blah blah. Not without my permission. The local police start coming by now, not the FBI, just on an unrelated thing, and it's the standard Deep South police, or it's already sketchy right off the bat. They're what you doing
"Hey
here,
boy, what you doing?"
They're like, "Hey, are you giving a blowjob in a screening of Resident Evil? What's going on in there?"
Why not?
Wait. I do need some clarification about the little person.
Okay.
So
what about him?
It's the assistant of the pimp?
Yeah.
Okay. And that person wants to
help.
kill John Cusack.
No, that guy isn't trying to kill him right away. The hooker goes missing, but really she's just with him, and he's trying to find her, and he's just all pissed off. She's just one of those hookers that just stays outside the motel and just works. That's her territory.
Okay, I got you. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. So John Cusack now has this bag, and it cuts from when he got it. the movie starts with him talking to Robert De Niro, and then it cuts to him already getting the bag.
So if
and he's
you know what's in it, don't tell me yet. We can save that for later. But if it's not, is it similar to like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction? Like, is it just like this big thing, like basically a?
It's just a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
No, not quite.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. Carry on.
Well, it is. It's a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But there's pay. Is there payoff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is like it drives the plot, and that's the whole thing. Is he's trying to get this bag, and he's been shot in the hand, and then later on he gets shot in the other hand, which is pretty funny. And so let's see, where was I at?
Steve just gave a nice little nod to agree that yes, that is correct. That is funny.
Well, I mean that's what like you get shot in one hand, you immediately assume you're getting shot in the other hand.
So he and the hooker try and escape at one point, but they get tracked down by the pimp, and then
I like
they
the
get
way
in
you
a scuffle there.
say the pimp.
So
you were the hooker gets shot, and then the pimp.
Pimp.
So what I'm getting out of this is the pimp is a more effective law enforcement agent than all law enforcement agents up until this point.
No, the cops are good too because they eventually bust in once they get back.
Whoa! The cops are good.
Well, good at being
Too edgy, Tyler.
good at being
Too soon.
good at being effective.
Whoa! No,
They arrest
Wow.
They
I'm
arrest
kidding.
Cusack and get him strung up in the jail
Wait,
cell,
what's
and they
his
start
name?
like beating the shit out of
Cusack.
him.
He said Cusack.
Oh, I thought you said Tusack. Like that was the name of the pimp. His name was Tusack, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!"
Cusack Shakur. So they have him strung up in the jail cell, and they're just like beating the shit out of him because they want to know where the bag is too. And all these people now are starting to find out about it, and they want to know what it is because they realize like this guy is guarding it with his life. So the lady eventually comes in, and they're about to like rape her, but then he.
Yikes!
That's not
Tyler's face.
It was a real Kramer moment.
I was taken aback, and I saw Steve's eyes widened as well.
Well, it's because like when you say she comes in, and then like you say they're about like. There's a certain level of voluntarity that you assume with she comes in, like she came into the
Well, to
into
try
the
and
scene.
like rescue him.
I know, and so like that seems reasonable, but then there's like a mass change of what is occurring.
The weirdest part of it is like, so these guys were. It looks like they're about to rape her, but by like the one officer by like eating her ass. It's like.
That's a bold strategy.
Excuse me, sir. Are you telling me there's a scene of non-consensual ass eating in this movie? If so, I may have to concede.
No,
You don't know what I'm about.
he's like about to, and then John Cusack's like, "I'll tell you where the bag is." Stop.
He's like, well, if that's the case.
Well, that's what they were only about to do it because they knew like he knew her and cared for her.
Jesus Christ, what a man.
and they've declared her a hooker, and he's going in raw on her butthole.
It's 2017, Steve.
Fair enough. Charlie, continue.
God, this is rough.
For those of you who didn't hear it, that was Tyler cracking a second beer to make it through this story.
Yeah, give me a sip of that. So,
Gotta get the taste out of your mouth.
she ends up pulling out a gun that she had hidden and
Where?
blasts some of them. But she had them all over, like tucked into her bra, tucked inside. Like,
Okay.
She wasn't naked by the
So she
time
was-
they were about
so
to
she was just-
do the munch. And
Yeah, okay, so she was just lucky that the first place they went was her butthole.
yeah,
So they didn't pat her down. There was like no spikes in the butthole. We are good to go.
God damn it.
so
Oh,
he was just gonna do an oral cavity search.
So you're saying the police weren't very effective?
This is not good.
So Cusack ends up killing them all, and he goes back to the
Good.
yes. He goes back to the motel, and she actually can handle herself too. Like she came in and ended up pulling the gun first and shooting one of the cops, and then she got like hit away, but then it freed. Cusack's
it allowed
character and
Cusack to
stuff.
get away.
Yeah.
Is Cusack? So you got De Niro and Cusack. Are there any other like
Big
heavy
names?
hitters in this? Because
Crispin Glover.
really,
The heaviest of hitters.
oh shit,
He was Willard in the remake of Willard.
Yeah, and he wasn't in the Back to the Future movies. Why would you?
Well, he wasn't in 3 or 2
There you go.
What were you gonna ask?
or 3.
Well, obviously, yeah, not in 3, but somebody like wore a prosthetic mask of his for 2. And like, no, I am Crispin Glover, I swear.
No, you're forgetting that he was hanging upside down at that time.
That's true. No, I was just wondering who's playing the hooker. Prostitute.
It's a
I
lady
don't know,
called.
is hooker a
it's
bad
called
term?
Rebecca.
I don't know.
think so.
Yeah, I don't.
Rebecca Da Costa. I tried to see if
Okay.
she had anything else on IMDb.
You didn't see
Nothing
anything.
major.
Okay.
I mean,
I just feel like if you got a role side by side with John Cusack, I feel like you're probably going to be a hired.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
yeah, she wasn't bad in it. So let's see. They go back to the motel, and then that's when Robert De Niro starts coming in and like, "Hey, do you have the bag? Everything like this?" And he's, "Well, I'm getting close to like the final act. Do you want me to keep going?"
We'll pause on the final one.
Who did Crispin Glover play? I don't know why. Was he one of the cops?
no, no, even better.
Oh God! If Crispin Glover was
He
the
was like,
cop eating ass,
Here we go, boys.
no, he was the black one-eyed pimp.
Oh man.
Crispin Glover was in a wheelchair, and he worked at the motel.
Okay, so what do you do in the movie?
Desk attendant.
Yeah, but he's real, creepy and everything. And at one point, John Cusack is like,
Are
"Just
we-
get
again,
out of here, dude!" And he,
Talk about the movie.
yes, and he pushes him away, pushes his wheelchair back. He's like, "Don't you ever touch my wheelchair. Nobody touches my wheelchair. It belongs to my dead mother." And then he gets up out
Nothing.
of it, like proceeds to walk.
That is just someone.
But-
Someone wrote that scene and was like, "Yes."
No, but they do treat it like Cusack is like, "Oh, if you can walk, what a miracle recovery, you fucking idiot!" Like, just like you're so
Okay,
stupid.
that's good.
Yeah. He's like,
I
"What
appreciate.
the
I
fuck,
appreciate
man?"
that a character treated it that
Oh,
way.
yeah. Okay.
All right, Tyler.
It's like Steve is now afraid to ask about any more of John Cusack's career choices.
I'm so afraid that at some point you're gonna be like, and while his pedal is to the metal, he is required to eat ass.
So you saw The Punisher, right? Well, something got punished in this movie.
Punish her.
Okay, so you've seen Midnight Run, you've seen Drive, you've seen Drive Angry,
I've seen literally none of these.
You've
Drive Angry?
You've seen
Great.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
That I've seen.
You've seen Baby Driver.
Also
You've
seen.
seen other movies with Drive in the title.
Correct.
Italian Job. All of these
Doesn't
movies,
have Drive. Carry on.
all these movies
United.
wish that they tried to do what Drive Hard did successfully. So you got Tom Jane. He is an everyman, an American everyman, American.
He just loves his family.
He just wants his kids back.
I mean, Charlie, you know what it's like. You know what it's like living on the Gold Coast. Just trying to bring your family along.
Yeah.
You used to be an ex driver of
Were you?
and
Of vehicles
and now you're on the
to
Gold.
home?
Couple
And now you're on
decades
the
ago.
Gold Coast. I mean, you save the reef. All that stuff. And then one day you're teaching somebody to drive. Oh, hey, you're American too. What's up? John Cusack, and he's like, BT Dubs, I'm robbing a bank. Robs the bank. He's like, you're my driver, and I looked you up. I know that you used to be an ex. I think it was like a rally car driver. The way that they don't specifically say it.
That'd be the
But
most
the-
useful kind of driving.
Oh,
Yeah, but
definitely.
the
rally
way-
car would be way
but-
more useful than
Well, the way that they allude.
drag racing.
That's
I can-
clear, boys.
I can only do it if we're going straight.
The way they allude to it, and also the fact that they are on the Gold Coast, I think that's a bigger rally racing is bigger outside of the States, I think, than it is anywhere else.
There's a lot of European rally racing.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
He's like, no, you're. I mean, yeah, I pretty much have you hostage. Like, you're gonna have to drive. Like, fuck off. And
so he's driving angry because he's upset about this whole situation.
No,
He's driving hard.
yeah,
just hard.
Jesus.
Fear. He pops a
Like,
fear
he doesn't
boner.
pay attention to the name of the. And so the movie follows them two driving through. You know, it turns out that John Cusack stole this. They were like bonds. They're not. It's not actual money. He just stole bonds from a
Real long con.
Yeah. Well,
I thought you said bombs, and I was like, oh, wow, that's a
each
weird
bond
thing
was
to
worth like $1 million each or something like that. And
That's
he stole
a
like
sweet bond.
he stole like 10, and it was because it was from a like mob leader that he had worked with in the past that kind of fucked him over, and so he's like, okay, well, fuck you. I know where you keep your shit. I'm gonna take it. And this mob leader is like, I mean, he does what mob leaders do, and he
tries to murder him.
No, he hires a gang of motorcyclers to head him off at the pass, and
To be fair, a crew of motorcyclists is the best way to approach the situation.
Well, we're not even there yet. I skipped ahead. I'm sorry. Because there's a scene before that where they kind of go off the beaten path to kind of take a break. And they run into, they go to a place where there's a reception. A wedding reception is going to be held there.
I would think the beaten path is anywhere where they're driving.
Damn it, Charles! I was just about to say, do they make the path beaten now?
And
all down the beaten path.
and then the lady that ran the reception area, you know, went all Rambo on him and pulled out a gun and was like, "Fuck out of here." You dumb cunts. I mean, it's in the Gold Coast, so I'm sorry. I have to put in some of the phrasing. You bloody wankers. There we go. And,
don't forget mate, because they call, you know what they say about Australia, where you call your mates cunt and cunt's mate.
Yeah, and then they did the little like backwards
Jog on.
peace sign, and then they said like save the reef.
Did they really?
No, Steve, I was making a Gold Coast joke.
I don't know what they do there.
The Great Barrier Reef's right there.
mean,
They're all
I
about
know.
saving it.
I mean, I know they need. It's an important thing that we have to take
No,
care
yeah,
of.
it's beautiful. Save it. But
Anyway,
so then the motorcycle gang, you know, comes on to him real hard. They want to.
well, I mean, they were like, well, you're ready to go. Might as well.
And then no, I'm not gonna. And they get away from this biker gang, and you know, it's weird, like you know, buddy thing, but at the same time, like Thomas Jane's like still like fuck you, like you pretty much kidnapped me, like I don't like you,
And now I'm being chased by a motorcycle.
Yeah,
death
yeah.
squad.
Someone gets shot
And
with
cops-
the rubber bullets.
And well, no, that's later. That's earlier on when they first, because the car that they initially do the bank heist in is his driver's ed
This is
car.
gonna be a piece of
So
shit.
it's like it has like, hey, we need like it has ads on it.
Yeah.
And Cusack's like, hey, no, go over here.
Yeah.
Take these
Like
ads.
let's you know switch cars. I got a place, and there he's like, no, fuck you, and he's like, I'm gonna shoot you, and Tom Shane's like, no, you're not, like, you're not gonna fucking shoot me, like, I'm gonna walk away from this, and then he shoots him in his ass, and he's like, I told you I was gonna shoot you, and he's like, God damn it, he's like, fucking rubber bullets, like,
Next, I'm eating it.
he's like, better stay on your stomach, motherfucker, because. Because I'm pulling those panties down.
No. John Cusack would never say that.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
never.
actions speak louder than words.
Damn it.
And yeah, I mean, again with what Charlie's saying, I don't want to like go too far into.
Okay, we'll save
know,
the endings for like the kind of the wrap up. So first question, the old Steve standby.
Hold on, I just want to mention, and Charlie said actions speak louder than words. you know that John Cusack's character is a fucking badass motherfucker. And it's because they did the old show Do Not Tell. And I'll tell you why this motherfucker, you know, he's just cool as fuck. He might as well be wearing his hat backwards, skipping class, giving the old hang loose sign with his feet hanging out the fucking window, cause he's always got that vape pen in his fucking mouth.
Wait, he's got a vape pen in that movie?
Oh, baby, does he.
God
He's
damn
vaping to the end of time. He's just blowing smoke. He's like, my chamber's full. I got my briefcase full of bonds. I got my driver taking us away.
Why didn't he just create a smoke screen for him?
Because he's too cool. He's
Just-
he's trying to give them some type of chase.
Rip one fat
Just when I
cloud.
think one of the movies is pulling ahead.
Did he say which flavor it was?
No.
He didn't need to.
No. It was
But
obviously
it was-
Fruit Loops.
But it was tooled so that he could get so much smoke out of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Looking like Gandalf. Just blowing plumes.
So
Anyway.
you saw the movie? It's
I
not-
did not. I just know how you do when you vape. So, first standard Steve question: what in this movie would you have wanted in the trailer, or what do you think could have been taken out of the trailer? I know it's a little bit hard. That's a little bit hard of a question to say, like what was taken out. We haven't watched it in a while, but
Yeah.
what do you think needed to be in this trailer that would have made it better, or you want to see it, or like what you know is in the movie that you think definitely should have not been in the trailer and kept that a secret for the like a nice surprise in the film.
Okay. Who are you going to first? I think we both kind of have answers here. Ready?
I'll give it to Charlie.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember watching the trailer at least, and I thought at one point the
You don't remember watching
the
the
little
movie, though,
person
but the
and the
trailer,
pimp
at least.
were helping Cusack,
Okay.
but then they're going against him in the movie. So I guess that's the only thing I would really change. I thought they put enough emphasis on the bag and enough emphasis on what he's doing,
Right.
but that I just remember that scene. It looked like they were helping him and they were working against the police.
So you would have done a thing where it's like
just
more
would-
clear that it was everybody
Yeah.
against them,
Yeah.
and like the different factions that were against them rather than
Yeah. Whereas it seemed that it just seemed
Gotcha.
muddled
No,
a little
no.
bit. I think they were just trying to get in action shots on there, but
I-
that's
I-
all I would have changed.
I get exactly what you mean, and I totally I really like that answer actually. Anyway.
Going to me.
Yes.
I would say I'll have a couple things, like small things. Hold on, I have to. Oh shit!
Hide that, dude.
God damn it! No! I was hitting all the wrong buttons. Damn it! I was trying to pull up all the scores before we got to them, and Charlie saw his. But anyway, I got a couple small things, and then I was gonna go into like
all
a
the,
large
do you have all of the small things though?
yeah.
Do you have the true care and that truth brings?
Yeah, I'll take one hit in your ride.
No, okay, no, we we can't go all the way down that road. There's no
Well,
time.
I mean, yeah, always I'll know then. But no, I would say I don't know if this was in the trailer or not, but I mean, just a small thing. Like I did not know this was in Australia
I did not.
until
honestly, it took me like even you saying the Gold Coast, it took me like a second to realize that you meant Australia.
yeah, no, I mean it was weird
I
because
don't think anybody else spoke in the trailer.
The
That
only
is,
Yeah,
well,
like-
no,
an
and
accent.
not only that because it was confusing because it was very confusing at the beginning on who was driving because we thought John Cusack
that was
driving.
another
Yeah.
that was another thing I was gonna say. So first off, the Australia thing, because pretty much Tom Jane and John Cusack, there may be two other characters in that movie that are American. Everybody else is Australian. Like Tom Jane's wife is Australian. Like, and that's what threw me off at first because I was at the beginning. I was like, wait, hold on, that's an Australian accent.
Wait,
Like,
so
what's-
they didn't even explain it like as the movie like opened?
Not really. It's just kind of like, oh hey, he lives in the Gold Coast. Like it's just that's what it is. Like it's
Okay.
and then the other thing would be that in the trailer they didn't clarify that Tom Jane was a professional driver. They were just
I know what you mean because I remember the only reason I knew it is because as I was researching the movies,
Yeah.
I found that out.
Yeah, so those are like kind of small things, but big things at the same time. Like those, I don't know. Australia is not as big of a thing. It would have been nicer to know, like, oh hey, this is an Australian movie. Like,
I mean,
it's not
and
as-
the only real thing that does is just so like because they do that initial shot of them in the car, and even then you think like John Cusack's driving. At least I did.
Yeah, and that might have been more difficult for us watching the trailer because we didn't know it was Australia and the wheel is on the other side. So we may not have like put two and two together that Tom Jane was behind the wheel. Like
Exactly.
in our heads, we were probably like, "Oh, John Cusack's behind the wheel because he's on the side of the driver's side." So that might have been like a weird thing. But then again, I don't see why they would establish. I don't know. That's something that is neither here nor there. But yeah, they should have established that Tom Jane was
They could have done one of those
driver.
like establishing shots of like him getting in the car, like doing a checklist. And it's like it's 8 a.m. here on the Gold Coast, you know.
Yeah,
Talking
I mean,
about whether
Vegemite breakfast.
Vegemite
God.
sandwich. Hashtag save the reef.
get out there and surf, you cunts. Like, just
As
this
he tussles his children's hair.
This trailer is pretty aggressive.
no, that's just the news in Australia.
Oh man, I wish I could remember the name of the dude that's on the Today Show in Australia. Everybody knows who I'm talking about, right? The
Oh,
one-
Roker.
Exactly. No, the one guy. He's on like if you go on Reddit, anytime there's any like Australia Reddit news clip, it's always this motherfucker from the Today Show, and I can't think of his name. He's hilarious. I know.
I'm
one,
unfamiliar.
I know one
Yeah,
time
I'm
he
not
just
familiar either.
wore the same suit for a week, like as a protest because like some online commenters were like saying how his like co-host who was a girl wore the same dress like. Repeated it in like a month or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear the same suit in a week." Nobody noticed, and at the end of the week, he was like, "Yeah, so by the way,
here's the thing I did.
you all are cunts because I did this and nobody noticed. Yet when she rewore this dress once in a month, y'all were on her fucking ass."
I wonder if he rewore the shirt, though, because then it'd be like, motherfucker, you stink.
I mean, he's got to wash that at least
Yeah.
nightly.
Maybe I mean for a guy it's kind of easy because like he could just do the suit and then just get a bunch of like plain white button
Tees.
That's true. Plain white tees,
plain white
yeah.
tees.
Yeah.
And then I mean
Tank
he's
tops.
real far from Delilah.
So who knows? And by this point, I forgot the third thing that I was going to bring up for the trailers, but I feel like those two things are good enough.
All right,
okay
Steve,
with that.
what's next?
Okay, so I actually have two, and I think they're decent, like kind of goofy questions.
Oh, great.
The first one, I'm gonna throw this one to Tyler first because he's gotten the secondsies on this so far. The first kind of goofy question is in a lot of John Cusack's movies, his sister Joan Cusack is in the film, and she's quite frequently like a sibling of his, but even if she's not, she tends to be the kind like a voice of reason where she just like gives him some sage advice or just calls him an idiot and like calls him out on his bullshit. Mm-hmm. Is there a character in this movie that she could have been if she was not in them? Or how would you add a character who just at some point has a small like monologue about how he needs to get his shit together?
Well,
I'm good.
There is no character in the movie originally that does something like that. So there's no Joan Cusack type character. Joan Cusack is not in the movie. Nobody specifically says to him, "Hey, get your shit together." I would say that the only character in the movie that would be able to do something like that is Tom Jane's character. But there's never any. It's hard the way John Cusack's character is
His
brought
shit's
apart.
just two together.
Well, no, it's not. It doesn't. You're never really given a lot of. I wouldn't say shit's two together, but you're not given any like, hey, these are fuck ups.
There's no room for improvement. He's just going as good as he can.
Yeah, I mean, but that being said, I don't. Yeah, he's going as good as he can. I think is the best thing. I wouldn't say there's no room for improvement, but there's no like, hey, you're fucking up left and right. You need to do. I think it's just like, oh, hey, John Cusack's doing what he's trying to do, and that's what he's trying to do. And Tom Jane is there being like, okay, fuck you. You're like, yeah, what?
So augmented question. What about, was there anything she could have said to Tom Jane?
Yeah, and John Cusack says it to him.
So you're saying that John is the Joan?
Oh, John's the Joan. Jay's the J. And, like, because fuck. Tom Jane. Jesus, I was getting the J's mixed up because I
So
said
many J.
J's.
We're in a triple J.
I said J so many times.
The
I was
J
like,
Bermuda
I was
Triangle.
like, man, this motherfucker's name is not John. What am I?
Yeah, the old Tom John,
Yeah,
famous American actor, Tom Joan.
And Tom Jane, he quit driving professionally because his wife was like, "Oh, I'm worried about I'm afraid you're gonna get hurt or lose your life or something like that. So I would prefer if you didn't drive." And so he's like, "Okay, I give up." And then he's like jobless, and pretty much, John Cusack's like, "Oh, she doesn't respect you. She like doesn't believe you either when you say that you're a hostage to me." And,
Wait, she doesn't believe him?
Well, yeah, it's a really weird scene where she's like, "Did you rob the bank?" And he's like, "No, I didn't fucking rob a bank. Like, what, you really think I robbed the bank?" And then, like, a little bit after that, because his secretary also, because everybody knows, hey, these two people robbed the bank.
Right.
And his secretary comes forward and is like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, he's so hot. I want to, like," something like that. And so she was like, "Oh, did you fuck the secretary?" And he's like, "Yeah, I fucked her every day for the past 3 months." She's like, "Oh my God, really?" And he's like, "No, I didn't." Why would you think that? And she's like, "I just don't know." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "I want to believe you that you're telling that." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And John Cusack's like, "Okay, well, she does not respect you." Because
And then John Cusack drops some wisdom
he's
on him.
Well, and then he says like some stupid shit like, "Oh, I mean, girls don't know what they want. They
Oh,
tell you what they want, but
Oh, classic girls.
am I right, boys? High fives all around."
De Niro's got a line like that in my movie too, but instead
Maybe that's the only reason John Cusack takes a role.
instead his is like, "Why are you wasting your time with this whore?" And the guy goes, "She's not a whore." And then he goes,
No,
It's-
she's literally a whore.
"Yeah, she is," but
So wait,
then he
oh,
goes like, then he goes like,
Oh, did you just pass
he
it off
says,
to Charlie?
I mean, I pretty much.
No, I
going
figured-
with my
okay.
answer,
De Niro goes, "But she's a woman, and all women are whores." Like,
Jeez.
Oh man,
I
Why?
thought what they were saying about women in my movie was bad. That's pretty bad.
De Niro is like a shitty person in the movie.
Oh, well,
though.
then that makes it all right.
No, it doesn't. No, but if
No,
you
no,
can't have
I
bad people say bad things.
I agree. I was just making.
Yeah.
I was just being.
So I would have since
Jokester.
Joan Cusack. I'm not a big fan, but she like squints her face a lot, and she's always like,
and she's like U.S.
pinches her-
Cellular.
Yeah, and she always like pinches her mouth together and stuff. So
It's,
I would
it's like I'm in the room with two of her.
I would have her face play the lady's asshole before. Okay, but really,
Damn
I would. I think an interesting role for her. Would
Well,
be,
no, you would have her play it because you know she
The
doesn't have
hooker?
a tongue inside of her.
Yikes! I would have.
I think I could have. I think I just audibly cringed. I think the listeners at home heard me do that, like cringe there.
Nah, they all laughed along with my great
No,
joke.
they couldn't hear it because they were too busy laughing. Clearly, carry on,
So
Chuck.
I would add a role where it would be kind of like an assistant to Robert De Niro, and she goes with him, but purely as an observer. She's not allowed to like help him at all. She's not allowed to intervene or anything like that. She only has enough stuff to protect herself, just to be kind of like an observer and a go-between, and then she just reports back to De Niro discreetly on her own. I just think that could have been a neat thing, because the whole thing is like De Niro testing him to make sure, like, are you still my number one guy? Can you still go and get this bag and bring it back to me?
That's interesting because that would kind of turn into almost like a similar role to what they did in Grosse Point Blank.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen it.
Because it's not quite the same, but she's like his handler for the like she brings him the jobs in Grosse Point Blank because
Gotcha.
he's an assassin in that as well.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want her to be positive or negative, just like, okay, just an observer, and obviously
so
they
rather
could play
than-
up her facial expressions
Yeah.
and everything. Like squint or even more squinty.
Okay.
or even trying to sell you U.S. Cellular.
So for my next Goofy question, we're gonna hit Tyler again first.
Oh, the gut. Right there.
John Cusack is known for one of his cult films being John Malkovich.
Oh, he's in that?
Yes.
Who?
He's
he
Well,
plays.
other than Malkovich, he's like the main guy. Isn't he?
He plays a guy who finds a thing and is like planning on
Oh,
taking
well,
over
duh,
John Malkovich.
yeah, okay, wow. I mean, I've seen that movie before, and for some reason I completely
He
forgot
looks
that
really.
was
He looks
the-
like really because they give him like long greasy hair
Yeah,
and they glasses
they
and
do.
he's kind of a dumpy guy
and I guess it doesn't help that a lot of the movie he spends being John
being John
Malkovich.
Malkovich. Like he
So-
probably only gets like 30 minutes of actual.
So
screen
you
time.
said his name, and I was thinking, oh wait, which celebrities did John Malkovich go in front of? Because there's a lot of that movie where he's actually, I mean, he's being John Malkovich. So
Right.
it's- yeah, okay.
I don't get it.
So
It's too meta.
So which scene would have been the best for John Malkovich to take over?
Oh, I don't want.
I mean, the whole fucking movie.
So you would just prefer a swap out?
I mean, I'm not a huge John Cusack fan. I would rather have John Malkovich any day.
Absolutely.
Okay, but like one scene in particular that you think it just would have been more funny
Okay.
for it to be
Yeah.
John Malkovich.
No. There's a scene near the end where
Because and I'm trying to justify my question at this point, but because John Malkovich has like almost some quirks similar to like he's not as prolific in his quirks as Nicolas Cage.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I would say he's not as intense as a Nicolas Cage type.
but like every
he's
role he
more-
has like his certain
he's-
eccentricities to the in
He's-
the character.
He's a better actor than Nicolas Cage.
Well, I mean,
If that makes like in certain way, like he's a Nicolas Cage type, but
who acts?
yeah. And I would say there's a scene near the end of the movie where John Cusack's character kind of gets the main bad guy handcuffed to a chain, like they're in a marina, and he gets his like arm chained to.
Are they getting ready to go out and save the reef?
Yeah, and John Cusack's like hashtag save the reef. He gets him handcuffed to a thing, so he can't go anywhere. The bad guy, and so John Cusack gives a speech.
Ooh.
And that speech is like overlaid with like action happening in the movie with other stuff, but the way that it's done and the way that it's delivered, I think that Malkovich would definitely have done that better because he's a better actor. And also, it just that scene specifically, it's a very and honestly, I think that Cusack tries to channel a bit of Cage in that scene, and that's not even you bringing it up a little bit ago. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, he's trying to do this little like kind of unhinged
like
weirdo,
like Cage and Matchstick Men.
Yeah, where
Like Cajun.
Fill in time.
Yeah.
Bangkok Dangerous.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, and he's wait, what's that one movie? Adaptation. Being John Malkovich. All hooked together because Spike Jonze. He does like a lot of those like you know how I do that noise.
No,
but
I know exactly what you mean. Because that part in Gone in 60 Seconds, right before they go out to steal the cars when they listen to Lowrider.
Yeah, and it's like those like weird kind of noises, and then mixed with like.
So when he's eating a cheeseburger in the Trust, which I watched
and
recently.
Oh, you watched it?
I went back and watched it because I was like, I feel like watching him. Like this was a
Huge.
couple months ago. This was a couple months ago where I was just
this
like,
is huge though, because I watched that for the cast.
I know that's why. Because I had just finished watching something with Elijah Wood, and I was like, I kind of want to watch another Elijah Wood thing. And then like I typed Elijah Wood into Netflix, and I was like, oh, it's happening.
Did you like it?
It was all right.
Okay. Yeah, he ate that cheeseburger like a maniac. But no, I was thinking.
For those of you who are lost, or listen to another episode of ours.
Yeah, just download them all. No, don't. Some of them are bad, including
Most of them are not.
oh shit! Now I fucking totally forgot what I was
The speech.
gonna reference. Yeah, the speech, but he's making noises. Oh, it's like in that episode of. I mean, this is a reference to a reference, but the episode of Community where they do a thing about Nicolas Cage, and one of the characters, Shirley, played by Yvette Nicole Brown, she says, I don't know, if I spent my entire career speaking at random volumes, I might eventually accidentally win an Oscar. And that's what this scene might remind me of, him just speaking kind of at random volumes like Nicolas Cage does. And that's why I think John Malkovich would be able to do that right. Like not just
just based on his role in Red and Red 2.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. All right.
I got two ideas.
I'm strapped in, Charlie, because it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I've talked long
First
enough
one
for
is too
Charlie.
crazy.
I'm surprised you only have two.
So the first one is when the hooker with the heart of gold kind of gets attracted to John Cusack's character, and at one point, John, this is after the police escape, so his hands are still handcuffed, and she takes a gun and shoots the chain off because that's all they had. And, they wrapped it up and everything, put a silencer on, and yada yada.
Thank God.
Well, they reduced the muzzle flare and stuff, I guess, or something. And and they bust the chain, and then she looks at him, and she's very scantily clad, as hookers tend to be. And she says, that was a perfectly good waist to handcuffs. And he looks at her, looks her up and down, and says, another place, another time. So I would think that would be really funny if it was old man John Malkovich saying that. But the real one I would want is when the little person gets the jump on him and hits him in the back of the head with a slingshot rock. So it's like a David and Goliath situation. And knocks him flat on the ground, then goes up to him, and the pimp pulls out a gun, puts it against Cusack's head. And he's like, I'm going to kill him, blah, blah, blah. And then they're talking about it, the pimp and the little person saying, like, it's not worth it. We're in the middle of the street. The cop could come by any minute, or anybody, really. We don't want to deal with it. So then he's like, all right, let's just go. And then the little guy pulls out his gun. He's like, I'll do it. And they have him pull out a gun that's like one of those old-timey hidden, like two-shot guns.
Like an old Derringer.
Yeah, and put that against his head. And then he decides not to kill him too, but then he pulls his dick out and pisses on his head for like an extended sequence. His piss is just going on Cusack's head. And then he says, I'm not Russian, I'm Ukrainian, Serbian, you fuck, or something like that. And then he goes away. So John Malkovich in that would be funny.
So
Wait, as what? John
It's
Malkovich is
As
getting
Cusack's
pissed
character.
on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say, I like it the other ways as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious.
I would just get to see more different people get pissed on then, so that's cool.
I think I got all my questions out of the way. Why don't we wrap up with
Finally.
I
am
thought you had
right?
another goofy one.
No, the two. I just had the two.
Yeah,
Oh,
he said,
okay,
he said
gotcha.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta pay attention.
So Charlie, why don't you wrap up?
Do you want full spoilers?
I want full spoilers because I'm never gonna watch. either of
Okay,
these
so he
movies.
had told him.
Hey, I don't know. You watched.
No, I did. I did watch The Trust.
Well, you at least watch one clip for mine. Usually. Never mind.
I'm assuming the
Oh
peeing.
wow, no, that just connected to my brain.
Gotcha. Gotcha. New homepage. So De Niro comes in when they're back. He and the hooker are back in the hotel room, and he's like, "Why are you in room 14? I told you to be in room 13. Like that was part of the instructions. Take this bag and go to room 13." He's like, "Well, we killed some people in there, and it's just a total mess. We just broke into the room next door and waited there." He's like, "Yeah, but I got to know that I can trust you." All this good stuff. So he's like, this whole thing has just been about trust. And he looks, De Niro takes a bag, looks in, and he's like, okay, good. I could tell you didn't look in this. And Cusack didn't. He's like, all right, I didn't look in it. And then he's like, all right, then you're going to be my guy. We're good. I have full faith in you again, everything like that. So De Niro's leaving. He's like, I got a big job coming up for you. You'll be able to totally just, retire, buy your own private island. Doesn't matter. It'll be like $100 million for you just for helping me. So obviously it's a huge, huge job. So De Niro's leaving with the bag. He's like, I'll wire the funds over. And once he leaves, the hooker says, sorry, I don't know character names. I know I'm just
fine.
like little person hooker and stuff, but I just don't remember.
And John Cusack.
I honestly, I don't even remember if they even gave them names. They
I
might
mean,
have just said
Steve,
like
that's all the
Thor
same
and
character.
stuff.
John Cusack was the hooker, was the little person.
So it's identity. Spoilers.
So
Yep.
she tells him like, "Hey, I did look in the bag." And
It was a
he's-
giant dildo.
He's like, "What? What the fuck? Why?" And so he goes out and he tells De Niro because he thinks like, "Hey, I'm just being upfront with you," because he is a good like employee in that sense that he's totally loyal to De Niro and he's done all this fucked up shit. And he's like, she just told me she did look in the bag, and I thought she had not. I know I didn't, and I didn't, but she did. So De Niro's like, okay, I mean that's fine. You just got to go kill her now. And now he's getting a little pissed at that, and then he's like, well, I mean, if she could know what's in it, what is in it? And he's like, here, you take a look. So they pull a real 7, and it's his wife's cut off head in the bag.
John Cusack's wife's cut off head?
And well, he knew his wife was dead already, but he's like, they never found the body, did they, John Cusack? And he's like, no, what the hell? He's like, I told you I'd send you on a mission to meet the person that killed your wife. He's like, yeah, and he's like, and you're looking right at him. I killed her, so because she was pulling you away from being like his go-to man. You know, he was about to retire and like go to his own family thing and stuff like that. It's like, so I had her killed, so that way you'd have no personal life again, and you could continue being my go-to guy.
He might as well have just said, 'cause reasons.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you're just like a total piece of shit.
Like sociopath. I mean, to be fair, it does like it clearly worked.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the piece of shit line, but again, 'cause reasons. But
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
like, if you're a piece of shit, then yeah.
Yeah. He got him to go on this mission because his wife's dead then, so he's like, fuck it, I might as well
Well, then
just
the
keep
hooker
doing
you
this
said
shit.
got off from seeing the...
Yeah, I did say that. Make sure you don't accidentally edit that part out, or else listeners will be lost.
I think I have to edit out just to make my joke even better.
So then they get in a gunfight, and he blows up the motel because he had it wired with C4.
John Cusack does?
No, De Niro,
De Niro
did.
okay.
And then the hooker comes up and kills De Niro, and then we wrap up where the hooker goes to the lawyer, and you find out that she was actually an inside person working for De Niro the whole time, but she ended up killing him, and part of the agreement was like, De Niro said, hey, if I get killed by Cusack, make sure you kill Cusack, and then you'll get like $5 million. Just you have to prove that you killed him to my lawyer. So she has some fake evidence, and she proves it to the lawyer and gets $5 million, and then she gets out and goes away with Cusack. And he still doesn't know that she was working for De Niro the whole time. She was a plant.
Interesting.
I guess that's a word.
Seeing them show the head was interesting, though, and him being
snap!
like,
They like straight showed it.
yeah.
How long has it been? Like how?
It was
how
gross.
Long, how long does a head last?
It was gross.
Okay.
It was like blue.
Jesus.
A die.
Which is also kind of scary.
Oh, the pimp and the little person though. After they get in like a big fight, those two are trying to get away, and then Cusack out of nowhere
Pisses on
goes open, throws open the door, puts his gun against the little person's head, and just blows him away. Just like,
oh shit!
like it was a cool action sequence because it was so quick. It wasn't like pull the door open like freeze or I'm gonna fucking kill you. I mean, it's like whip the door open, just pop, pop, pop 3 times, and the little person he picks him up and throws him up like in the sky out of the car.
Holy shit! What?
Well, to get his body out of the way to like, try and get the other guy.
I was saying what out of like exclamation like what?
And then he starts shooting the pimp, but the pimp gets out a little bit, and then they get back in the car and they're driving, and Cusack ends up holding his head out and lets him get hit by a tree stump. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
You know, like they just cut down a tree and he holds him out.
Wow.
Well, first he grinds his head into the ground as they're driving, and then the guy's like, "Oh fuck," because he sees the tree stump. So Cusack's holding him down, then just pulls his arm in, and you see his head just like.
Wowza, yowza,
Jesus.
But the way he just busts in,
He's gonna need a new car.
guy,
Good thing they got $5 million.
and then just
and
picks
that
him
pimp's
up and
gonna
just
feel that in the morning.
Yep.
Like, I mean, the one thing I'm fully expecting to get the a stock Charlie response out of this one, but what did Robert De Niro think was going to happen after he revealed that it was his wife's head? Like, at what point did he think things are going to go well from here on out?
I'll save you the stock reply, but I think he already had the place wired, so he was beyond the point of like, you're just going to keep working for me anyway. Because this is all you know. Like, you can't just go back to a normal job now. You're used to this lifestyle. You're used to the money that I pay you. And I'm going to blow up this hotel and kill this fucking hooker, too, that you have feelings for now. So you might as well just keep working for me and keep being like my little bitch, essentially.
It's a bold way to treat the scenario,
Yeah.
but okay.
And it seemed like since he was happy that Cusack didn't look in the bag, that he wasn't going to show him. The only reason he showed him, he was about to leave. Like, he was getting in his limousine to take off, and he just wasn't going to show him, then have him be the guy, and then Cusack could just live the rest of his life thinking that it was somebody else. But then, at that point, it's just like, yeah, fuck it.
You just couldn't help monologue.
Well, wait, didn't you say that De Niro told Cusack that he would show him who killed his wife?
Yeah, but he could have
So
just
it was
lied something, though.
Okay. But it was always still kind of part of his plan.
They didn't mention that in the morning. That's not part of this mission. It was just something like what he told him when she initially passed away.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Tyler, bring it home for me.
All right, yeah. So we get to the dock, the marina, the boats, and Charlie's doing a French Stewart face.
No, that's Joan Cusack.
You are looking at me? You talking to me?
Okay, I guess that's either John Cusack or French Stewart doing a Robert De Niro impersonation.
No.
Or maybe that's Charlie's impersonation of Robert De Niro.
I'm not that bad.
Damn, Taxi Driver was on my list of driver movies that I meant to mention earlier.
What about Taxi?
No, it didn't have drive.
Hey, The Legend of Bagger Vance has a driver in it, probably.
Taxi, the TV show or the movie?
So, I used to watch that show a lot.
I love that show.
Anyway, Steve.
Tony Danza.
They're on the. He's not the boss. If you're asking who is, it's Angela.
No, it was Danny DeVito in the show Taxi.
Oh, okay. So in my movie Drive Erect, the end on the marina / the the little boat dock where John Cusack has his Nick Cage scene and Tom Jane. It's kind of like ahead of
and a runaway cruise ship comes barreling in.
I mean, I wish it was Too Fast, Too Furious, or Speed 2.
There we go.
Sounds like both of those movies that you're describing. No, it's kind of like, hey, you drop me off at this point, pretty much. Like, I'm getting away. And it's a everybody comes to a head. Like, the people that are trying to chase them are like, oh, hey, fuck you guys. And so Tom Jane is kind of left with fighting off this one last guy. And so during that scene that I was talking about, Tom Jane's doing his action scene of, like, he's in a car while this thug dude or whatever, like, bad guy thug, is shooting at him. Mm-hmm. And he ends up actually, like, kind of hitting him with his car, which is a character turn, in my opinion, for his character. Like, because he, especially during that action scene, he was definitely avoiding, like, any he was like, hey, stop fucking shooting at me, like, driving around in circles, like, stop. And then he gets hit with a bullet in the arm, and he's just kind of like, okay, fuck you.
All right, it's go time.
And he kind of, like, tails him, and the, like, fishtails him, and the guy gets hit, but then the guy gets back up and pulls out a gun. He's like, okay, definitely fuck you. Like, and he kind of just hits. He doesn't run over him, but he hits him straight on.
Like, pops him.
Yeah, and that kind of ends that. And then John Cusack's like, okay, hey, thanks, I got everything worked out. I'm going to take my shit. And I see you got shot in the arm. Like we said earlier.
I'm assuming he gives him one of the bonds.
Well, I think it was 3. 3 of the bonds was the deal. He's going to leave 3, which I still don't understand how that got across, because, like, I feel like the cops would be like, hey, there's 3 bonds left, and they would take, I don't know.
Yeah, like, they would like debrief him and check him.
Yeah, unless they, like, shoved him up his butt. Like, I don't understand how.
And how do you redeem them?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know some cops.
And so like he's like, yeah, sorry about you getting shot in the arm. He's like, but here, like we said, here's the cuffs. And Tom Jane's like, let me cuff it myself because I just got shot in the arm. Like, you're being a little too rough. He's like, I'll do it. And he cuffs himself to the steering wheel. So then it looks definitely like he was just all along like a hostage. And Cusack gets away. But then it cuts to later where afterwards, I think Tom Jane kind of gives word like, hey, this bank / air, like, they were in cahoots with this mob, which is what was the case. Like, that's why
Yeah.
You know, and so he's kind of seen as a little bit of a hero, and then he's also like, hey, I'm gonna go back into not drag racing,
Rally racing.
rally racing. He's like, I'm going back in. He's like, because my wife says like, hey, I don't want you to die, but at the same time, like,
He has to
You gotta
live.
live.
I'm so happy we both did that exact same joke.
and so he goes back in on that, and Cusack gets away.
Do we see
Freeza
the
Birdie.
meeting, the reunion between him and his wife?
Yeah. It's kind of like the wrap up. It's almost like an epilogue where it's like, oh,
As the
hey.
sun's setting, she like runs into his arms.
No.
Please?
The ending is them kind of out on their the
On
side
their catamaran they could buy with the.
Well, no, she's a lawyer. So
Oh damn! So they're already doing okay.
she's a good lawyer, and also he already had the rally money, so they had a pretty good house. But then it was like, hey, you're not making any money anymore, and I'm the only one making money, so we're kind of fucked right now. You need to get a good job, like, do something. But they're out on their, like, kind of the sidewalk area of their house, like out front of their house. And the new car that he's going to rally race in is there, and she's like, oh, yeah, I love you. And he's like, I love you too. And she's like, I don't want you to race because, and he's like, well, do you love me? And she's like, yeah, that's why I don't want you to race, because I don't want you to die. And he's like, but if you loved me, you would let me race. And she's like, I love you. And he's like, then I'm racing.
And we already have this car.
And then it cuts to their daughter like in the driver's seat of the car going like, "Meh," like it's still on the
Yeah.
Tow truck thing, and she's like, "Meh, meh," and she's like, Daddy, teach me how to drive. And they're like, and then cut to credits.
All right.
And then it says, hashtag this was filmed in the Gold Coast, hashtag save the reef.
You wouldn't download a reef. I mean, I would if it would save it. And no, that's not the point. Okay. Oh, man, this one's... I don't know. This one's kind of difficult.
You get there, Chuck?
Yeah.
You're just moving your mic a little bit there.
I think I might go with Tyler's because of the I killed your wife and here's her head in the bag.
That
I
sounds like
apologize. I apologize for like telling you to spoil it and then holding that against you immediately.
that sounds like a reason for Charlie to win.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm confused.
It's just the whole reasoning behind the thing is ridiculous. Like, or the lack of reasoning. I get that's his, like, I know you didn't look in the bag because there would be things you would be saying to me right now. Like, I get how that's a good, like,
It's the only way. He couldn't have put like a piece of tape on there or something where it would have ripped.
Fuck.
I mean, to be fair, it was a foolproof way to find out whether or not he looked.
It is.
Or just get a bag that has just a lock on the end. Like, it's not like that's uncommon.
Locks aren't foolproof.
It'll just take a wax candle and put it through the keyhole.
But I mean,
got it.
I mean, I will say Charlie had some bonuses, which was mostly just like the killing scenes and
Okay.
perhaps God, and then there's just. I was thinking Crispin Glover's character for just like
Wait, I don't understand. You're making it sound like you said that my movie will.
I might be talking myself into that.
Oh no.
No. I don't know. I'm more interested in the rally car racing stuff.
Is that just because of how often you drive with a boner?
No.
It's not
It's
just
how-
because.
Well, I missed saying that part in the wrap up where Tom Jane is like, "Man, this drive sure was hard."
Does he say that? Yes. So Charlie's the winner. Sorry, Tyler. You threw it away.
You already said I won.
No, we can go back.
I don't know what to believe now.
I don't know how to feel anymore.
Who is it, Steve? Come on. Who is it definitively?
I'm going with Tyler.
Okay. Because you secretly love when they say the title of the movie in the movie.
I can't get enough of it.
And
does he look directly into the camera? Please say yes.
In Charlie's movie, John Cusack was probably like, "Man, what am I? Some type of the bag man?"
Sending me on a suicide mission. What am I? Some kind of the bag man?
I guess that's it.
De Niro's like, "You're the bag man. This is the bag wife," and he hands back.
Bag children.
Oh God, he didn't know that he was gonna having kids. It's exactly 7.
So, okay. So why did you pick my movie over? You already said reasons why you liked Charlie's movie.
Yeah, like multiple.
Why did you pick my movie over his?
Because it has rally racing in it.
No, I want to see the car action over just like him like coming in and shooting a little person in the head.
You're fucked up then. It's one of those. It's way more rare.
I will probably end up watching both of these at some point in my life.
They're on Netflix.
I know, that's why I chose them. So anybody out there who wants to see both of them, check out Netflix.
Go ahead and watch them. Yeah.
No, and I like that he's like building a relationship with Tom Jane as they go along, whereas like
Yeah.
what?
Nothing. I just know Tyler. The way he said, "Yeah," like yeah,
Like that,
they sure
that
are.
totally happens, which I'm gonna find out is a complete farce. Which is the whole point of the podcast, is for you guys to mislead me.
True. That's true.
Because I also don't like that the girl was like an inside man and like doesn't tell him.
Yeah,
And like
She was a total Clive Owen.
but it's really because her character was like out for.
out for
Okay.
that slow burn.
Yeah, somebody count the amount of seconds between
Her
my
character
joke.
was well, I was in the middle of a thought.
No, I understand. It was still funny.
Her character was purely doing
Out
it
for
for
herself,
herself.
yeah.
So then she's like, "Here's an opportunity, and this dude is kind of cool, and I can get money. So fuck it."
All right. I mean, fair enough. I still that's a subplot that I like was like about.
Yeah.
And I also want to see
I mean,
Tom
it wasn't
Jane.
that much of the movie.
And I also want to see Tom Jane like hit some people with a car, like technically, like like physically using, like how they
Yeah.
do in Fast and Furious when they're like, oh man, someone's coming after him, and they're like knock him away with their car.
I know how they do in the Fast and Furious.
when they hit the NOS.
Which I don't think they've done since the second one.
That's because they don't need it anymore.
Exactly.
Now they're too fast for the NOS.
So who do you want to hear real thoughts for?
I want to
from
hear
first?
real thoughts from Charlie first.
It was okay. I mean, just kind of stupid, but some of the scenes really were funny. Like any of the ones with the pimp and the little person were entertaining enough, and when they got killed, it was freaking hilarious. And
Were they
having
like,
him
were they
open
like
the bag
bumbling? Were they like bumbling idiots, kind of?
up, yeah.
Okay.
And well, the little person's like the Ukrainian gangster, and he's in the full tracksuit with like a little chain.
Well, and I know-
Man,
and by the
you should
I mean,
have said
I
that.
don't-
Did
I
he
don't-
ever squat?
Yeah, he did slop squat.
I don't know the actor's name, but that guy who
He's been
is-
a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's like the de facto like, oh hey, we want a funny little person in this movie. Like he's good at doing
I don't know.
his job.
Who is he?
Shit, I got the
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah. Continue.
So, I mean,
Alright.
it was too long. And,
Hold up, Dominic Purcell was in your movie?
Yeah, I said that during the trailer. He's one of the cops. I said
shit.
Heat Wave.
Who's Dominic Purcell?
He's from Prison
Heat
Break.
Wave, and yeah, he's in
Oh.
Prison Break. He's so the little person's name is Martin Kleba.
Sure.
I'll have to see a picture of him. It's like
Man, this is good podcasting.
Really translates for the listeners.
Oh, that is a bad picture.
Oh,
but
him.
he's still
yeah.
he's still recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. Who
I
that
just
is
meant
now.
that it looks like he's on drugs or something.
Oh shit! Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's in those
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Well, and he's also I think his name's Randall in Scrubs, where he just like
Yes.
randomly shows up and punches
yeah,
JD in the balls.
he's one of the janitors or custodial
Yeah.
people in Scrubs. Yep. 100%.
So seeing him whip his donger out and piss on John Cusack's head is pretty good.
I mean, that sounds pretty funny.
And it was weird when that dude was about to tongue punch her fart box. It was odd.
It's funny because I was considering saying that
I need
earlier
to-
when you brought up that scene.
I almost feel like I need to see the scene just because I would wager that the framing of the scene in my head is way worse than what it is in the movie, and so I'm like, Jesus, this movie is fucked. But if I saw like the framing, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's not that bad.
All right. I'm imagining like a scene
He
where
had
he's
drool coming down his mouth. I'm kidding. No, but it was.
Anyway.
I mean, I've seen much worse movies for this podcast than this one.
Okay.
It still wasn't good though.
Fair
But
all right.
Do we want to go into Rotten Tomato? I don't know. I forget how we typically do it. Do we? Do
Oh yeah, we usually do the Rotten Tomatoes.
Do we
of it.
want to do Rotten Tomatoes
Whatever,
of
sure.
his and then go into... Okay. So, let me lift up this whole laptop. I'm weak and frail. So, average rating, 3.4 out of 10. 43 reviews, which is actually... that's a lot more than I would have expected for this movie. I've never fucking heard of it.
Yeah. I had never heard of either of these until I typed John Cusack's name into the search bar of
4 fresh, 39 rotten. That leaves us at a 9%.
I want to hear the fresh ones.
All right, well, slow your roll there. You're not the one reading.
and also he has to find them.
Shh. So we got a negative here. Whatever you do, do not look inside the bag. Hot take. This is a positive. A violent film with an underlayer of comedy. It works for me big time.
I'm going back to that like don't look in the bag thing. Like I love when people in the review of a movie like reference things that you would have to have seen the movie for. Like people
Yeah.
are using this to determine whether they want to see the movie. Why would you be like making a convoluted reference?
Because it makes him feel good and clever.
They're like, oh god. So
Tyler deletes his post history.
this is one that literally is down the middle. So it's like one of those Rotten Tomato
Yeah.
reviews where it's like people don't realize it's a thumbs up or thumbs down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the rating of this person is a C minus, so it's literally down the middle.
The evenest you can get.
And then it's probably they gave it a thumbs down because of the minus. And the review is the Bagman is as silly as its title, which
Which isn't really that silly.
well they
though.
said
It's
which
just stupid.
which is
Yeah, it's
both
just a bad title.
they said which is both a joy and a shame. So it's like that is the most
the
like,
most midline you could be.
yeah, as far as review goes and rating goes, and then as you said you wanted another.
I'd agree with that.
You wanted another positive review. We got the film has a nihilistic tone and its gallows humor may turn off more viewers than it seduces. Not since Killer.
Honestly, I think that's a pretty good a pretty good step back assessment of.
But not since Killer Joe has a film exerted this mix of attraction and repulsion, which is a real hot take because Killer Joe is a good movie.
I've never seen Killer Joe.
It's
I have no idea.
Matthew McConaughey and
Killer Joe Young.
and I'm pretty sure
Starring
Killer Joe.
Charlize Theron.
I'm pretty sure Killer Joe came out after this movie. Killer,
So never since.
Killer Joe. Oh, okay. Wow, never mind. Killer Joe came out in 2012. I guess I didn't even fucking hear about it until the past couple of years.
I mean, the past couple of years is only 5 years. Okay.
Robert De Niro brandishes an epic white pompadour that looks like a prank on eternal producer Robert Evans.
Yeah, he almost looks like Phil Spector in the movie. Which isn't really a pompadour, but that's how it's like. Is that like white, just like mad scientist just went
Yeah.
to the magic house.
Okay.
All right, so Steve, you want to hear about?
Yes,
my
I
movie?
do. And you're gonna let me. I'm gonna have picked wrong this time, aren't I?
Okay, so you know how you like.
I don't like where this is going.
You know how? Did you ever take?
You sound like Bobby Lee in a Mad TV sketch, like when he's the Asian. And, you know I like when.
You know,
hot dog.
What?
The translator.
Yeah,
thing? Yeah.
yeah.
Then it's like hot dog.
Yeah, he just like says things that like make no sense.
Steve, did you take? This is gonna be real.
A real deep, like a real long road to get there.
No, this is gonna be a real specific reference. Steve, did you take Studio 4 in high school?
I did.
Okay, so we all three went to the same high school and took the same class.
Sorry, everybody else that's listening.
at different times. Though.
Yeah. Oh man. So this is like if you were in Studio 4 was a film class, pretty
Like
much.
a film production class.
Yeah. So this is like if you were in Studio 4 and they gave you an actual like crew. Like they were like, "Hey, here's cameras and, boom mics and everything and a budget. Go
How much budget?
10
I
mil.
mean, you got
Enough for a rally car.
You got Tom Jane and and John Cusack, so maybe $1 million. Maybe
pesos.
maybe 50,000.
Okay. Wow. Tom Jane really needs his kids back.
It seemed like a student and this is okay. So
So you're saying the production quality was low, like high production,
production-
value, but low production quality?
Probably just seemed amateur.
yes, it seemed amateur.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get.
So
get
both,
at.
yes to both. And the thing is, I would say that to compare it to another Australian film, I would say the original,
Australia.
the first Mad Max movie looked better than this movie.
Okay.
So like the CG was pretty bad, and like I don't know. There's a scene. The scene when he robbed the bank made almost no sense. Like it shows him. He's like, "Hey, I'll be 5 minutes," and then it shows him like about to walk into a bank, and then smash cut to him like at a safe, turning knobs like it's just like a normal little tiny I don't know what kind of safe that is
Like
called.
like a backroom safe.
Yeah, he's turning those.
Like, it's just a personal.
Just a
security
personal
safe.
safe, but like old school, like it's a knob safe
Yeah.
with like 3 where the weight strap, but he doesn't have like a stethoscope on.
He's just raw dogging it.
He's raw dogging this safe, and and as far as I know, nobody stops him. Nobody, and he
doesn't kill people to get to this safe. He
no
just walks to the
because
safe.
the second he opens the safe, the alarm goes off. And that's when everybody freaks out. So
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're saying we're missing the piece where he gets to the safe.
And then that scene that I mentioned that was very Nicolas Cagey, I feel like they shot that scene before they did most of the movie because John Cusack does not act like that.
The rest of the movie.
Any part of the movie. The rest of the movie is most of the movie is Tom Jane and John Cusack in a car together. And it seemed and it felt like the director just said, "And action." Hey, you know how you're Tom Jane and you're John Cusack? Work with that.
No, but like, what kind of? You have a script, right?
And they're like, "No, we don't. It just says act in the script."
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a lot of improvisation. And then there's that scene that I mentioned early on in the podcast where they went to the old lady that brings a point where everybody's fucking strapped in this movie in a country that does not allow guns at all.
I was thinking that earlier, but I wasn't gonna say anything. It's like, well, I thought the one guys maybe were like the police are chasing them, so it's like, all right, but I don't know. I don't know.
These civilians just pull out a fucking pistol.
Oh,
This old lady pulls out a pistol and shoots her husband in the leg. And she's like, "Oh, you guys," and that not only are all these people like fucking RoboCop because they're like, "Oh, hey, we just saw this news thing that says they're wanted. Better whip out my fucking gun and start shooting at them."
Oh god.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay, take it a step back. But again, Australia, guns are banned. And there's a.
I mean, before you told me it was all about the civilians, I was like, God, Tyler, don't you know, like, criminals don't pay attention to laws.
No, these are normal people.
Oh, normal people. They
and one of them is a shop owner who just has a shotgun behind the counter, and he accidentally kills himself.
Oh God!
because he's shooting at Tom Jane, and then John Cusack eventually comes in and he's like pulls out both his guns. I think one of them is the rubber bullet one. It doesn't matter because I mean you pull out 2 guns and somebody's like, oh shit, and John Cusack's like, okay, back the fuck up, like. And he's like holding up a shotgun. He's like, okay, now put the fucking gun down. And he just drops the shotgun and it shoots himself in the head as he drops it. And Tom Jane's like,
now you're making a case for your movie again.
Yeah, and John
this would have been the first thing I mentioned.
and Tom Jane's like about to vomit, like, you killed him. And John Cusack's like, no, I fucking didn't. He killed himself. He's an idiot. But then again, guns banned. Australia. As far as I'm aware, guns are completely banned in Australia.
Their military is a joke.
Like I don't even. Well, no. In all honesty, I don't think that police officers have. Do they have guns?
I can guarantee that any like SWAT team division would.
Oh yeah, SWAT for sure.
But like beat cops.
But I think like a police officer, like if you're just going
they're
fucking
still,
Sydney police.
Like my
officer,
problem is
keep
that
spiders
now,
in a jar.
Go. They're huntsmen's.
More effective than any other gun.
Attack.
In deterrence, yes.
But yeah, no, that's and
which is funny because in Diablo 3, there's a character who has a move that's like a jar.
Hilarious.
It's a jar of spiders that they like throw, and the spiders like come out.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, and I didn't even think about that gun control thing in Australia until I'm talking about it like now. But yeah, and then you cut to that scene. It's a weird scene where John Cusack, like every other cut, he has a gun in his hand, but then he doesn't. Like depending on the shot of the camera.
So he's like Mel Gibson in Maverick, who's just like the quickest draw.
No, he's like Mel Gibson in 3000 BC or whatever that movie is called. Is it 3000 BC?
300?
300 BC, whichever one it was that Mel Gibson directed, where it's about like the Aztecs or something like that.
Oh, you mean Apocalyptica?
Man, there it is. Man, this joke just went
I thought he might have been
You're talking about that Vin Diesel movie.
No, I thought you were talking about like the Jack Black Michael Cera movie that I thought like maybe he was just like in it.
Mm-hmm. So Charlie thought Babylon
it's
AD.
like 100 BC
and no, Charlie thought Babylon AD.
Well, and also that 3000 BC
and
movie
Steve thought
came out
year
a while back.
one.
Yeah, year one.
And
wow,
my joke,
we are terrible at movieing today.
Yep. But hey, my joke still landed. So. Didn't it, guys?
It sure did.
Please like and respond on
So
Facebook.
what did you
to
actually
make sure
think of your
that-
movie though? Like good, shitty?
I think it was. I think I'm on the same line as you, Chuck. It just felt like students were given the like a budget with actual actors,
Right.
and they were like, "Hey, make a movie." And because a lot of the action scenes were like
Like if a movie studio was like, "Hey, everybody's on strike. Yo,
Gotta make a movie.
scab workers, come over here and hold these cameras."
well, and also a lot of the action scenes felt
Scabs.
a lot of the action scenes felt like somebody wrote some like if a student especially wrote an action scene where they're unaware of what the fuck budget is and they're just like this is what the scene is, and then they get to shooting it and they're like, oh shit, this costs money, and so you just like don't really show a lot of the like you kind of infer a lot of the action and it like cuts away when stuff happens
like that scene in Dirty Works with the Norm Macdonald movie.
Oh yeah, that's a movie
where
I've
they're
seen.
like where they're like there's an entire sequence where they're like because in the movie they're playing practical jokes, and there's a scene where he's like hiding fish in this guy's house because he's a real jerk and his neighbor like hates him.
And that's what you do. You hide fish in.
So he's gonna hide fish in his house to get back at him. And while they're there, like a drug bust, like a drug deal happens in the other room. but the guy, like, one of the guys in the drug dealer is like, "Hey, it smells like fish in here," and the guy's like, "Is that a code word? What are you wearing,
man.
a wire?" And they just
Shit.
like, and there's just like a firefight that you see, and it's in the scene, rather than you just hear it, and it's just Artie Lang and Norm Macdonald holding fish in a room, like.
I would have liked. Man, it smells pretty fishy in here.
And then when they leave, like it only shows them from the waist up, so you don't even see all the blood. But they're just like, "Oh my god!" And as they walk, they just make like squishing sounds.
So, as I said, this movie is very just like it feels like a student film with Thomas Jane and John Cusack, and literally.
So my student film being released next winter.
The scenes with them two in the car felt like there was no script, and it was just like, "Hey, do your thing," which then felt weird with like actual story development, where it was like, "Oh, hey, Tom, you're not supposed to even really like him because he took you hostage, and you're supposed to say, hey, that drive was hard," and John, now you're Nick Cage. Like, I don't know, it was weird. But as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, my movie is at an 8%. With
I was thinking 8.0, and I was like, that is a really high score.
I mean, it's the same score that 8.0.
No, I mean like
8%.
an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, Jesus.
Average rating is 3.5 out of 10. So that's, yeah. There's only 24 reviews on this one. 2 fresh, 22 rotten. That means that I will probably read both of the fresh reviews. So we've got approximately as unforgettable as its title.
I will never forget it.
As you can guess, that is a fresh... No, that's a rotten review. A fresh review, though, does a lot of revving in order to juice its jockey, violent bad boy cred, but it never gets out of the driveway.
People, okay, if you... To our listeners out there, if you are reviewing movies on Rotten Tomatoes...
Fuck you.
Or any... No. Not,
If you are listening, fuck you.
I was going to say, leave your puns at home. Like, just write an honest review of what's occurring.
Yeah.
I think as far as anything we've learned from this podcast so far is that movie reviewers try to be so fucking clever, and it's always the most, like, obvious
Cringy,
or stupidest
pun.
thing. Like, it's like when the Emoji Movie came out, and it was like all the reviews were just like the
It's a
poop
big-
emoji,
yeah,
and it's like, okay, yeah. I think I
Or-
either
or
made
like-
that joke on the podcast, or I thought about making that joke, where it's like, hey, I got an original review,
Or like
poop emoji, down thumb.
or like whenever the newest Pirates of the Caribbean comes out now, and everyone's like, this one's really sinking the franchise.
Yeah, and like a new Mission Impossible movie comes, is like, this mission didn't seem very possible at all. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. How am I doing, boys? Let's roll it. I don't know. Mission Impossible movies are pretty good.
They usually are pretty
Yeah, I
legit.
know. So this movie. Okay, so we got this mission turned out to be possible.
It was the mission Tyler driving hard. Because that is incredibly possible. As a matter of fact, it's completely likely.
Did you read both fresh ones, or was it just?
No, I have not yet. Charlie really wants to get this on.
No.
I
I
know.
I'm curious. I love fresh reviews.
The
of
other-
shit movies.
Because you're like, what did you see?
Yeah.
The other fresh review is essentially a chase movie infused with buddy comedy elements. The film is a fast-paced, mildly entertaining lark that's chiefly enlivened by Cusack's droll performance.
I have to say that's like, I think that's like a real honest review. That's like someone who didn't take the movie too seriously. It was like, I had a good time. Fuck you. I'm so like,
Yeah.
like I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
you don't like it, that's fine.
There
but
were
like,
some-
I had a good time.
Yeah.
There were some weird subplots. Like there was a subplot I didn't mention about like the chief inspector was actually under the payroll of the main bad guy,
Ooh.
and then main bad guy was like, "Hey, back the fuck off! Like, don't look into this." But then the what is it called? The AFB, I guess, or AFP, the Australian Federal Police. They came in before
The guy could like stop
to
it.
back off, and so they were like, hey, yeah, no, we're investigating this. And then there was this whole like clash between them that I mean, it ended with the two AFP
Eating
officers.
each other's.
Yeah, that's where the similarity is. No, they were just driving in like a farm area, and they got a flat tire. Like, not because they ran over like a spike. Like, they just got a flat tire, and they're like, oh shit.
Not this again.
And they got out, and they're like, man, we better change this tire. But then the chief inspector was behind them to be like, not because like maliciously, just because
like that's how cops work. You
Yeah.
you drive someplace with other cops.
But then he is like, oh man, you guys are stuck. Well, I can't let you get him. And he pulls out his gun. He's like, I'm gonna kill you guys. And then the guy that's with the chief inspector like pulls his gun on the chief inspector and is like, we can't kill other cops or something. And then it ends with a shootout of the guy shoots the chief inspector. The chief inspector shoots the guy. And then, as the chief inspector's dying, he shoots both the federal officers.
Did they play the Dear Sister music?
I wish. It literally ended with all four of them on the ground dying, like from gunshot wounds, and like it showed a shot of all four of them separately. Like,
Yeah, that's what I said.
ooh, what you say? This girl from Cinema Blend, a pretty popular website. It's dumb, it's ugly, and yet it's not all bad. Negative review.
I mean, I could respect that being either one, like either a good or a bad review.
Very disappointing pot boiler that runs out of gas far too quickly. What the fuck? Like, what, a pot boiler? Like, what would that even be?
I mean, it'd be like it's more like a pressure cooker sort of thing.
Oh,
I'm guessing is what they were trying
okay.
like the pressure's building up and it's getting crazy, but then you just take it off the heat right before
I gotcha. Yeah,
you boil over.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, I feel like that's enough. That's enough reviews as far as reviews.
Well,
go.
I'm sorry, Charlie, that I didn't pick you on this one.
Why would you apologize?
I just needed to see Tom Jane for once get his kids back.
He never. Oh wait, no, he does get his one kid back after he's done being a hostage.
Once I needed him to win.
I mean, he was the Punisher. Oh no, the Punisher.
He did not win in the Punisher.
he loses immediately.
Yeah, in the first like 10 minutes. And I mean, he may kill John Travolta in the end. But then he loses his job as the Punisher, and somebody else is the Punisher.
And he may kill Bulky Waldo, but he does not win in that fight overall.
Okay, hey, that movie was actually not that bad, right?
I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm saying
there's
that scene where he fights the giant guy in the striped shirt, and that dude takes him to work for a while.
This may be a hot take. I don't know how like internet thoughts are, but both the Punisher movies so far.
I haven't seen Warzone.
I saw like the opening scene of Warzone. I was like, "Holy fuck, this is the best movie ever!" Like, I might pull that up off cast here to show you guys. Like, it's fucking insane.
Now let's play it now.
Everybody, here's our reaction.
For those of you hanging on to this one.
No, I mean they're not. I feel like that's a character that. I mean, who's sitting there like, not my Punisher? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's a well-known character, but who the fuck, like, actually
There are people, and you know there are.
Yeah, I know.
You know enough about comics to know that for every character, there is someone that is going to be very upset by their portrayal.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how'd you guys like those photos of Red Thanos?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Josh Brolin is Hellboy.
That's not Josh Brolin.
That's
Is
not
that
Josh
that wasn't
Brolin.
that wasn't
That's
pictures
the
of
guy.
him?
That's the guy from Stranger Things, the cop from Stranger Things.
Okay.
I don't know his name, but it's
Okay, I know
the
what you're talking
main.
about.
It's the main police officer from
Hey.
Stranger Things.
Check yourself next time.
Oh my god, I have
And also, he looks fucking awesome.
thoroughly wrecked myself.
Yeah, 'cause so, other than that, I mean, I guess this is what they call in the biz the end of the podcast.
For those of you who actually haven't
Eyebrow.
just turned this off.
Hi, bro. Yeah. So, Steve, what do we got as far as socials go?
Well, we've got movie versus podcast, the letters VS, not the word versus. So we got movie versus podcast. You can find us on Facebook. Movie versus podcast at gmail.com is the email to get in touch with us. At Movie Versus Podcast is the old Twitter. I think those are all the socials. You can find us on any podcast app you like.
Yeah,
I believe.
if not, hit us up.
Yeah,
we'll look into it. We'll see
yeah,
what the fuck is
iTunes,
up.
and then
Sure.
the other ones that I have nothing. Stitcher, I think, is one that I've heard people say.
I'm pretty sure we're on Stitcher.
Okay.
Hey, go to your local public library too, and go to the computers and set every default homepage as the YouTube
Yeah,
lens.
and if you just went to your local comic
And
book
also
shop,
feel free to check out our microfiches.
if you went to your local comic book shop and complained about the fact that you can't find our podcast, that would
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm sure they'll like that. And then, of course, shout outs to Jeremy Lamb for the
correct
for the intro music, Scott Blackwell for the logo. Shout outs to our sexy cousin podcast, Three Wise, who if you haven't done, I was recently on a week or two ago. So I
think by the time this comes out, it'll be a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any of you that just can't get enough of me,
what'd you guys talk about on that
we
episode?
we talked mostly about we did a little talking about it.
Hentai.
So yeah, we did a little talking about the movie
Tentacle
It.
porn.
So if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that movie with
it's another spoiler free.
Yes, correct.
I feel like last week we did a pretty good spoiler free little roundup of everything.
we talked about anime and its kind of like view in nerd culture, and how it kind of is still the pariah of the nerd culture, despite the strides nerd culture has made over the past couple of years.
And I will say, as someone myself who has never really been much into anime, I don't count really Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, DBZ. Like, yeah, that's anime, but I don't know. Like, as a kid growing up, like that's just cartoon fare.
And they were a little more entrenched. Like they kind of because they made it to like the Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly. So as someone who has never really been into anime, I would say that listening to that last Three Wise episode has made me think, oh hey, a lot of my friends like anime. Maybe I should try to at least kind of like some of it.
Just check it, give it a chance. Not necessarily just write it off.
Yeah, I've gone into Inuyasha. I've gone into Death Note. Both of them are great. Hulu is a great
Hulu is surprisingly good
for all that. I mean, not even just anime. I found out Hulu is actually fucking amazing. Like
their premium service is actually getting better and better.
Yeah, they've got so much shit. But you don't have anything else to plug, Steve?
I was going to plug Beyond the Blast Doors, Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad.
Critical Misadventure.
That was
nice little D&D podcast. Charlie, do you got anything to add here?
Nope.
Is there anything that you?
I mean, we could say that you and I don't believe Charlie's involved, but I, and landlord Kevin will be at is it at Anheuser-Busch on
for
nice. the beer Olympics?
Oh yeah, we're doing it's called the Bar Olympics.
Oh, the Bar Olympics.
It's over at it's over at for the STL listeners, it's over at Ballpark Village, the Anheuser-Busch
beer
garden thing over there in Ballpark Village. I mean, it's already sold out.
Wait, they're not having it at the beer garden?
No, it's at Ballpark Village. Well, no, it's the beer garden at Anheuser-Busch at Ballpark Village. There's like a beer garden there.
Gotcha.
So if I mean, it's already sold out. We got like there's teams.
I mean,
when is it
sold
again?
out like instantly.
It is. Shit. Hold on. When this comes out, it will be the weekend of this coming out. So it'll be the Sunday after this coming out.
This comes out.
And
so this upcoming weekend.
I think it's the 25th.
It's the 24th, I believe.
24th or 20th, yeah, something like that. It's a Sunday, and Steve, myself, and Joe Groller of Three Wise will all be we'll be there. Obviously,
along with roommate,
with landlord Kevin. You can't buy tickets to it at this point, but I mean, if you
for some reason happen to be there, we'll be around.
We'll have a drink with you or whatever. Yeah, other than that, Charlie, you said you got nothing going on
I ain't
right
got
now.
shit.
You don't have any giveaways.
I haven't accidentally purchased something.
Well, stay tuned.
In a few weeks, Charlie will be like, "Oh man, I got an extra box of chocolate frosted flakes with marshmallows.
I got this Blue Apron box."
No,
I wouldn't eat that shit.
And I would just immediately try to win it.
They didn't have them this year yet. I was like, fuck.
Other than that, I feel like we're pretty much.
I think we got it
everything down packed. So yeah, bye.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.